this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Father's Day weekend to all fathers, all mothers who have played the roles of mother and father. So happy Father's Day weekend. This morning we are discussing, as usual, this is our ZeBay Behind the Scenes Fit series, and we are discussing about young people becoming better equipped and becoming financially independent tomorrow by becoming more educated today. Just about personal finances, learning how to respect money, folks. Learning how to respect money. Okay. So this morning in our discussion earlier this morning, as we actually spoke to people on Facebook this morning, um, we did a fit series, and I actually got on the young people this morning. I got on the young people for a reason, because I'm noticing a lot of young people in Baltimore City. Trust and believe when I say this, a lot of young people in Baltimore are very great, outstanding young people. Um, some of the best, some of the most intellectual and creative and spiritual young people that I've met in all of America. I'm just going to say it just like I've witnessed it. Some of the most um, intellectual, creative, spiritual field young people that I've ever met in America, here, right here in Baltimore City. And the media has over the decades pumped up so much violence um, that have been committed by young people here in the city, but just refusing to promote and talk about all the positive things that come out of our young people here in Baltimore City. Well, we're gonna, because Baltimore is a pretty large city, and I was telling my husband, and my husband said it very simplistic. He said, well, because Baltimore is much, much larger than DC, Washington, D.C. So you're going to find all kinds of people. And, it as it saddens my heart, it opens my eyes at the same time. A lot of young people take adults here for granted, because I'm finding out that a lot of young people here in Baltimore, during the 80s and 90s, a lot of them lost their fathers due to either being killed or in jail, put in jail, because work opportunities have not been here, especially for a lot of black people here in Baltimore City for so many decades. On the west side of Baltimore, the unemployment rate has exceeded um, the national levels. Here in Baltimore, last in 2016, they estimated that 30% of the jobs were lost in West Baltimore. And I tell you, it creates a really bad and struggling and serious and um, desperate situation for a lot of people with children, because young black men feel that, okay, I have to do what I have to do. And there's a difference between grinding and hustling. With that hustler mentality, doing whatever you have to do, they really mean doing whatever they have to do, from armed robbery to selling drugs on the street corners and in the schoolyards, and anything they feel they need to do to make money for their children. They're like, that's how they justify it. And see, Satan will put those things on your mind to really, where you really believe that you are justified in committing criminal acts in order to provide for your family. And folks, that's a misconception, and that's Satan at its best. Where you get to that point where you feel like you're justified by doing anything and everything that you think that you have to do in order to take care of your family. Well, there's a saying where I remember when I was coming up, and just me getting a job while I was in high school, made a lot of difference because I decided I wanted to be independent. My mom had always talked to me about being independent, and I decided that if I wanted to wear the type of clothes I wanted to wear, if I wanted to get the tennis shoes that I wanted to wear on my feet, because I wanted to go with trends, then I had to. I remember my mother making that statement. When you get a job and you work for your money, and then you can buy what you want to buy. Until then, I'm gonna, I'm gonna buy what I want to buy for your feet and to put on your back, the clothes on your back. Okay, so that comment from my mother one day at 13 years old made me realize I need a job. So I went out and got my first summer job. Okay, I went out and got my first summer job. They didn't want me to work, so I had to run away from home for a week right up the street to make my point that that I wanted to work, and I was going to work because I wanted to make my own money. So my mother respected that, and I was able to come back home and keep my job. But I tell you, young people starting in the mid 80s, they were influenced by older people, and in certain areas in the country. And I see now that Baltimore is one of those areas that had a big drug trafficking, a big sex trafficking industry here in Baltimore. And I tell you that it's sad that law enforcement felt, the way America carried that war on drugs was not the most righteous approach. When you got road cops killing young people just because they quote unquote they match a certain MO, which didn't necessarily mean that they were even involved. Okay, and so I'm noticing a lot of the residue from those 2 decades have created the impact that we have on the young people's mindsets here in Baltimore City. Now, I'm not saying all young people. 90% of the young people that I've met, and I've met thousands of people here since I've been here for the past 4.5 years. We're going on 5 years. And I tell you that I see so many intellectual, um, talented, artistic, creative, and spiritual young people here than I've ever met in my lifetime. In my lifetime, folks, I'll be 60 next month. In my lifetime, so I just love the fact that young people young people here. The majority of you are doing the right things. The majority of you have good parents, even if it's a single parents that are on you, that maintain you, that guide you in the right direction. But those other 10% of the young people and the lack of parenting that I'm directing this conversation to this morning is this, folks. Um, it's time for you to reconsider your lifestyle. It's time for you, when God sends someone in your life that can mentor you, that can be that missing link, that can be that voice of reasoning to you. You need to um, change your mindset and your approach in terms of how you deal with that individual. See, you may have been in the streets for a lot of your youth life, your teenagehood, and you've run across a lot of older people that are on drugs, and you've run across a lot of older people and young adults that are selling drugs and that are hustling their bodies or whatever it is they're doing to try to make money for the sake of money, not respecting money and what money can do, but just trying to hustle no matter what it takes. Whenever you have a 13-year old sticking up someone, armed robbery, getting arrested for armed robbery, that stuff just didn't go on in DC. It just didn't. Throughout my lifetime, we didn't have occurrences like that happening in Washington DC. Yeah, in Southeast DC, places like Valley Green, the old Valley Green, in different areas, like up and down East Capitol Street, you may have had some people some stabbings or some fights break out in parties, or yeah, you may have had a few robberies, but not to the degree, nowhere near the degree that I see here that I've heard about and seen in Baltimore City. And it's out of desperation. And that's how they start living. That's the type of mindset they become adjusted to, and they're groomed by the wrong people. And let me tell you, as they're getting older, they're starting to mature a little. And if someone doesn't grab them by the hand and groom them and mentor them, then they will just become career criminals. But if they're blessed enough, where God puts in their pathway a person that is open enough, that has an unconditional love just for people, where they reach out to try to touch your life, to make your life a better life, and to try to change your attitude, change and help you to understand that you need to actually adopt 7 different mindsets in order to become righteous, successful, outstanding citizens in America or anywhere in the world, then guess what? You are just blessed to have the acquaintance of that person. So, I had an incident that happened to me this morning where a young person that I had met back in, I believe, March, beautiful young lady, um, talented young lady. I heard her voice, and I heard this CD that she had, it's MP that she had created, and I said, "Oh wow! So are you singing? Who's singing that?" She said she writes the lyrics. So I'm thinking, okay, that's a beautiful song. But then she said, "Oh, that's me." Then I heard a rapper come in, female rapper come in, and I said, "Wow, okay, they can work. They can work. I can understand every word she's articulating." Oh, and I said, "Who's the rapper in that?" "That's me." Oh, the beats. I'm loving the beats. Who did the music to that? That was me. I arranged the music. I sampled some beats and I arranged the music. So I kind of took her under my arm, under my wings, because I'm the founder and creator of ZeBay Promotional Consultants, and we will LLC our business. I'm the proprietor owner of that business, and we've done a lot for Baltimore. And anytime you have the mayor thanking me, okay, for what I do and appreciate what I do, I know that I make an impact on her city, on this city here in Baltimore, because I've changed some mindsets where I've promoted all the positive things that I come across on a daily basis. And I've promoted it in such a way, in such consistency, that I see young people starting to promote themselves and promote others. I like that, but I'm not a stranger. I'm going to be here. Y'all might as well get used to me talking, used to me walking. Whether I win the mayoral in 2020 or not, I will be doing a lot of things here in Baltimore City because I'm a resident now in Baltimore City, and I'm a doer. Okay, so just to let you know, I do want your vote because I know I can do a great deal more if I'm in position to do a great deal more. That being said, I want young people to understand that when God puts people in your pathway to groom you, an older person to groom you, then you can't talk to that person the way you've become accustomed to talking to people on the street, because you got one time to do that, and they're looking at you. They're saying, "Can I work with this individual? Is this worth my time?" The second time you do it, a smart business person and mentor, it's not going to be bothered anymore. They're going to get to blocking your number. You're not going to be able to reach out to them like you once could, because I had a situation where the young person, the 18-year-old, had the audacity to tell me this morning, "Oh, I made a mistake. I gave my boyfriend your phone number, thinking it was my cousin, to maintenance his dreadlocks, his hair." Okay. And I'm telling the young man, and the young man is still trying to tell me, "Well, she gave me your number, and you're supposed to do my hair." And I'm like, "I don't even know you, young man. Who are you?" Okay. So I call the individual, and they tell me, "Oh, it was a mistake. I meant to give him my cousin's number." But yeah, and I took that at first. See how trusting I am? I give you trust on credit. I accepted her answer at first. I really did. I accepted her answer, and I said, okay, well, I have to apologize for calling you, but and telling you don't give people my number, since you say it's a mistake. Well, what you could have told him, this is the respond back to that. Well, what you could have told him is, well, I'm not the person that does hair and blase, blase. And I immediately hung the phone up and blocked her number. Why? Let me explain to you, you young people, why six-figure earners and seven-figure earners would do that to you in a heartbeat after the second time they've experienced something with you, because don't have time to actually raise you. You should, even, matter of fact, those of you that are in the street know better than even the average young person what's right and what's not right. You know why? Because you've experienced all of it. You've been in the street. So you got street smart. So you know right from wrong. It's no such thing as, oh, my mindset is so wrong where I don't know how to talk to certain individuals with that's got prestige or that's helping me. I don't know how to talk to them. I don't know the difference between the people that I've been dealing with in the street and the people that are trying to help my life. Oh, you know the difference. You're very aware. You just think that you're going to run game on everybody that you come in contact with. And just like I can't mentor you the same way that I mentor a righteous young person, outstanding, achieving young person, I know I can't mentor you the same way. You better know that you can't talk to me the same way that you talk to anybody on the street, because I don't have to mentor you at all. Real simple. Real simple. So therefore, you've missed that opportunity of the person that God has sent in your life to help change your life and your lifestyle. So for you young people across the world, when you realize straight up and down that God has sent you someone to bless your life, you better be on your P's and Q's. You better be practicing acting that you've got honor and respect for the people that God sent in your life. Because guess what? As fast as God sent that person in your life, that's how quickly that person can leave your life. Can leave your life. It's called gratitude, folks. And it's called having enough, even smarts, period, to know you can't come a certain way to certain people. Just like I know I can't come a certain way to certain people. That goes throughout your lifetime. You have to know the way to come. You have to know the way to come. Some people will personally push your buttons. I learned that the hard way. And so I've had to overcome me actually battling back and forth verbally with people that I realize, wow, they're intentionally pushing my buttons. They're intentionally pushing my buttons. So therefore, what I tend to do, if the relationship, see, because sooner or later, we're going to have a relationship, especially if we're in the same industry. We're going to we're going to have to deal with each other. We're going to have to see each other, because my business is up underneath. Now I'm talking going from young people to even us adults. My business is that I'm in actually is a part of a bigger company, a bigger organization. So I'm going to have to see those same individuals when I go on trips, when I bring my team on trips, when I go and celebrate and earn those tens of thousands of dollar vacations, and I've got to spend my 10 days with that individual that we may have had a conflict. Okay. And see, I can deal with anybody. I can deal with anybody. But when you get to playing politics with me and like you're going to try to control me, it's never going to work with me. And I know different cultures handle women different ways, but this is America. And so all I'm going to be concerned about is America culture. I'm going to respect you, but I'm not going to let you replace how us Americans work with each other, women or men, with the way you're used to working with your women in your culture, in your country. That's not going to happen, folks. Okay, so now I'm actually talking to team players here in my upline this morning, because this is about being financially fit, and we all must work together. We can agree to disagree on any topic at any time, but we need to do that in a professional manner. In a professional manner. In a professional manner, folks. In a professional manner. Okay? We need to do that in a professional manner because people are watching our behavior. Young people are watching our behavior. And see, I had to learn that quickly over the past 2 years. And I learned it by actually experiencing some things. So because I know the people that I deal with in my circle, even in the financial world, I know only deal with that person in a certain way. But I also know even if they're above me, that guess what? This is my business and I'm growing. So, and I'm the leader in my business until my people rise up and pass me. But I'm going to continue to earn the respect of my people. I'm going to continue to train my people and work with my people. And guess what? I'm not going to allow anybody to actually try to snatch that role from me. That's not happening. Mm-mm. And I say that because we need to respect one another. Even when we do business, there's a godly way to do business. There's a self-man made way to do business. And then there's a just cynical, evil way to do business. And guess what I've realized in life? None of it lasts other than the godly way. Woo! That meek and humble approach, that meek and humble way, that's the only thing that sustains your business, folks. So when you get to a certain level and you think, oh wow, now I can just talk to people, carry people the way I want to talk or carry to them, even, and I'm a leader, but I can still carry people and put on a display that's totally unprofessional, and everybody's going to tolerate it, everybody's going to deal with it. Baby, God will send someone your way that just simply won't deal with it and simply will actually call you out on it. Because it's time. See, God will send that one person in your life to humble you, to meeken you, because it's necessary. It's necessary. So I'm bringing this today because I need people to understand, especially young people here in Baltimore and across the world, because across the United States, it starts at home first. So I say Baltimore first, the DMV, the USA, and the world, because it starts at home, right in my community first. Young people, when you see me, when you run into me, then even if you have to act, because y'all got some great acting abilities here in Baltimore. Even if you have to act, you need to act. If you want to have any dealings with Zulieka and Kenny, three-time champion Kenny Baysmore, you need to act it out when you see me be on your best behavior. Because one thing I won't do, I will love you from a distance and say hi, but I will not waste my time with people that are uncoachable, nor will I waste my time with people that are just insisting that they want to live, appear to be righteous, but at the same time, they little demons running around, filled with deceit and game. No, look, real players don't have time for game because what they're working toward is building legacies. They don't have time. They don't even have a second for games. So I'm getting ready to flow over. I'm going to try to call up Messiah right now, Messiah Fit of Black Wolves, because I know we had planned to come over starting today to do a financial fit series for parents and for youths. But I don't want to see, I don't have seconds to waste anymore. So when we plan something, I've got to double check it. When I tell you folks that my schedule is really heavy and hectic, then I'm being sincere. If I can make it, I will make it. If you, on the other hand, want me to be there and you've told your audience, your participants, that Zulieka Baysmore is going to be there, then you need to let me know that I'm not only just vending, but I'm looked that you want me there because you've let the audience know that I'm going to be there. You know, so for those slick ones that know that when you have a personality that you're dealing with, a sort of celebrity, someone that is specializing in an area, and you want to capture that moment and that opportunity to work with that person, then don't do it in an underhanded fashion. Be real about it. You know, I don't have the money to pay for your fee to appear at my event, but we are looking for vendors, and I know you have a product or a service that you want to provide to the public. Because see, I may go ahead and buy a table and send someone else to work the table, to work the booth, or to work the table, because my schedule is so heavy, and next year is really going to get heavy once I file my candidacy papers. Okay, so I'm letting everyone know that I want to work with everyone that wants to work with me, that wants to make Baltimore a greater city to live in and to grow up in. Okay, Kenny, can you close that door for me, please? Thank you. So, you know, um, financial fit. What does it mean to parents, and what does it mean to children? Being a father, since this is the Father's Day weekend, and happy Father's Day to all you fathers, as I said before. To be a real man, to be a real father, I don't care what age you are. I don't care what race you are. You need to step up to the plate. You need to get a job. You don't need to be out here selling drugs, because you are actually setting an example to your children, because the children are much wiser now than what they were when we were coming up. Children are much wiser. So you need to be a living, walking example and testimony of how you're grooming your children. And drug selling is not the way. Hustling your body, mothers, are not the way. I'm just telling you it's not. Okay? It may be fast money. Good morning, Messiah Fit. Are you expecting me this morning? Or are we going to rearrange that for next week? And it's okay with me, because my schedule is pretty busy. Okay. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's set up a date where I can start that fit series with parents, because you need to let the parents know anyway ahead of time. Um, I want to educate the parents as well as the youth about becoming financially fit. It's important, because when we have, and wait a minute, I may as well to ask you first. Do you mind being on, because I'm actually in the middle of broadcasting, but I wanted to catch you before you started your routine, your Saturday workshop. So do you mind your voice being on behind the scenes? Okay, thank you. Audience, I'm proud to announce that I have Messiah Fit on the phone, and we are discussing financial fitness, okay? Because it's important that our youth, our parents, first of all, become fit. Think about what you need to put yourself in position where you are growing and your money is working for you while you're sleeping, because you're building a financial legacy for your children and your children's children. See, we need to look at two generations, us as being parents. It should not just stop with our children, but also with our grandchildren. Because what we teach our children, we would hope will pass it on to our grandchildren. But some of us actually have children, still young children, and grandchildren, because we have several children. So we need to make sure that two of our generations before we leave this earth, this earthly realm, are financially fit. You know, Messiah, I see the work that you're doing over there in West Baltimore. I don't like separating Baltimore. I like, when I talk about Baltimore, I actually like to just look at Baltimore as just being Baltimore City, our great, yes, our great city. Because we need to erase the segregation lines in this city, because a lot of people wonder, why is it that the harbor gets more money than we get over here in Cherry Hill, or we get over here on Pennsylvania Avenue, or we get over here on Cold Spring, or we get over here on Northern Parkway? Why is certain, and it's called districting, because when you separate and divide your city, into so many different districts, like such as what Baltimore has done. And that started when Baltimore was part of the county, when it was just Baltimore, Maryland, where they divided everything because you want to put more funding over here because it's in your better interest, or you feel it's in your better interest. You have these group of people over here that they may come out to all the public hearings. They may express and have a good plan where they get together and draw out a actual written plan on what they want in their communities. Okay, so they can, yeah, they get it financed. But then you have this portion of this type, these individuals over here that they may not come to all the public hearings. You may have a lot of disadvantaged and disabled people in that sector of the city. So they may not know how to write a grant proposal. They may not have those same services that's provided in the harbor or in the south, the northeast, some of the northeast sector of the city, or the southwest sector of the city. So they get left behind even when it comes to financing certain projects, okay? So we need to become more personally financially fit. So when we have an idea, we can roll with it. Our community can support us. Parents can afford to pay that little $40 or $50 a week to have their children enrolled in your youth program because they're financially fit or they're working toward it. Okay, so we can become self-proficient here. We really can, because why? We have enough people to do that with. See, there's power in the numbers. Okay, so Messiah, what do you want to say about even how you work in your program, and in terms of budget, and in terms of being able to do what you do every Saturday?
Well, the main thing you said was power in numbers, and that's what we realized, as a nation. We calling ourselves a nation, we're not calling ourselves an organization.
Okay, thanks.
We're spread across this world, not just this country. But together collectively, everyone puts in. Everybody has different skills within the Black Wolves. We have people that are caterers. We have people that make their own herbs for your body. We have people that make soaps. We got people that make dolls. I mean, this is how we're coming together to raise our funds independently, collectively, though. But, it's still not enough. And, of course, when you're talking about these corporations and how they do things, you're talking about people with money giving money, and then you have grassroots organizations like what we are, built from the ground up.
Right.
You have the white Jewish dollar backing it, or the Prince Arab dollar backing it, or the gold or the oil money backing it. We have regular old Baltimore urban community funding going on. So I don't necessarily even know if people that are watching, I know a few, like I know you're one, but if they really even want to support what we're doing, because we are uplifting youth that will never have the opportunity, unless we reach out to them. So sometimes I wonder if people are really serious about being, humanitarians and missionaries, and they, talk all this God stuff, but at the end of the day, they don't really seem like they're really trying to reach out to the grassroots movement.
Wow.
So, and that's here in Baltimore. I don't know, it may not be that way in other places in this world, in the city, but we got such a hate and crab mentality here, though.
Wow. You feel this?
I'm a chaplain. To a police department or whatever, and I've seen more ministers with such a hateful spirit, such a jealous, conniving, manipulative spirit, about themselves. When it comes down to this money thing, we are very divided. So I'm very much for being fit, financially independent, and so that I can do the necessary things that need to be done, because that's where my heart is at, and that's where my mind is at.
Messiah Fit, you have the right last name, because young man, you are wiser beyond your years. You really are. You know, I actually woke up one night with you on my mind. Matter of fact, 2 or 3 nights. I had to talk to my husband about it. I said, look, you know, this young man is so beyond his time, so beyond his time, so beyond his years, till it's mesmerizing to me. It's mesmerizing to me. But I have to be honest, you are very much beyond your years. And what I want you to understand and realize is that there are not a lot of people. You see, you have come to a shrewd and rude awakening, young man, that it took me 3 years to come to, being in this city. One morning I just woke up and I said, wow, I'm looking at the various characteristics here and getting to really meet and embrace. When I embrace, I hug you. I want to feel your spirit. And I get to feel people. I get to feel you. Okay. And my thing is, wow. Okay. When I hug and embrace ministers, clergymen, okay, chaplains, evangelists, you know, I can feel their spirits so strong, overwhelmingly. I can feel those that have jealous and envy in them. I can feel those that actually fell in love with me. Okay. I can feel so much of their energy, their spiritual energy, where I had to draw a conclusion, and you just spoke my words that I spoke 3 weeks ago at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. one morning. I woke up and it dawned on me, it's almost like a brick hit me in the head. And I said, dear Heavenly Father, wow. They don't want to be saved. Ah! I see. They don't want to be saved. So now I really understand why you have me here. I need to individually, independently make each person that really is ready to actually take your talents and take your burning desire that you've placed in their souls to another level and just educate them and help them to become personally financially fit. Because guess what? A lot of them don't want to be saved. A lot of them are satisfied, and they are okay with the status quo. They're okay with being caught up where they can go and walk into City Hall and bring some money or a check and say, okay, I want this over here. Here's $50,000 of my church's congregation's money. They're supposed to, by the way, be going in the community. So if someone comes in here on a Wednesday lunchtime and say, I need $900 to keep from being evicted tomorrow, they don't get turned away. But they get turned away, because you're not a member. But why are you taking a collection for the poor in your community every Sunday, and you're accumulating hundreds of thousands of dollars annually, but you're not giving it to the poor that comes into your church on a weekly basis and say, can you please help me prevent eviction? You're taking it down to City Hall. Yes, that was my friend too.
Yeah, he said when you think of people that wear a hood, like hoods over their heads,
right,
sweatshirts, he said, what are they doing? He said, they're hiding. He said, that's exactly what happens in places like the hood. People are hiding. They are, in concealment. And that's exactly what's going on, in our city. It's the status quo thing. People are very content. They do things behind the people's nose. The person at the bottom always suffers more. And until there's an uprising, like a Freddie Gray uprising,
right,
people collectively decide where they want to spend their money and
there you go.
Invest or start boycotting some places and stop supporting places and shut places down.
That's right.
Keep doing the status quo. And that's the kind of movement that establishments like this is afraid of. They're afraid of awakening a collective in this movement. That's exactly.
Well, that's what this is. That's what ZeBay is. And we're going to purposely be collectively coming together with leaders like you this summer. Because guess what? I love to shut down things. I love to shut down things, baby. I shut down Giant one time until they lowered the filet mignon from $24 back down to $13 for 2 pieces of filet mignon. I shut you down in a heartbeat and know how to do it. So let's keep flowing together and come together so we can do this collectively. 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 Okay? We want to make sure that we are proud of how we shut you down. Where the world will see how we shut you down. Okay? So we don't want it to be said. Oh, look at those black people going mad. Look at those black people destroying stores and breaking in and No, we want to do it in a way that has never been done quite before. We want to shut you down where you don't earn a dime.
Yes, man. And I'm learning evidence is always good too. When you can do a compare and contrast from why in the world are you having a broke down, ugly, beat up looking church or a broke down, ugly, beat up looking store, but then your house look like something that need to be in the magazine?
There it is. Oh! There it is. Okay. So now you feeling it. You seeing it for what it is. You calling it out for what it is. So look, we're gonna do some things this summer that's never been done. I got Dorothy O'Bannon that has taken a showcase out of Chicago right now, but we're gonna shut it down this summer. See, we're going to shut it down by doing this. If we want to get popsicles for our kids, then guess what? We're going to have that entrepreneur that does the snowballs and stuff like that setting that right out there, posted up so you can get the nice, cool snowballs or ice creams from our own. Okay, we're going to shut it down this summer. So you know what? So we're going to have a meeting one day this week. And I'll call it out. If you on Baltimore on the rise, then keep watching that this week. But I'm gonna put it on everybody that I know I have a relationship with, because we're gonna do this, but we're gonna do it in a way where it's planned, it's intentional, and it's gonna be felt around this city.
Yes, man. I'm looking forward to it. Mama Z, I'm sorry. I love to stay on this thing.
I'm gone. I'm gone. Have a blessed one. We will talk this week.
Yes, man. I love you, and stay strong, stay fighting, stay the warrior you are. But like you said, it's all about the oneness and the togetherness.
There it is. I love you too, my brother. Bye-bye. Okay, so folks, there's a plan. There's a plan in the making. Because see, we got to become doers. We have to become doers. It's not enough for us to speak it. It's not enough for us to just walk it. It's got to be where all of us collectively come together. You know, when I think about collective, even that word, it reminds me of Star Wars. It reminds me of Star Wars, where where I'm talking about the generation of Star Wars, where they had the cube and all of those mechanical beings were their thinking process were joined together. So if they were thinking this, all the rest of them would come together. No matter where they were, they would come together, and their minds would collectively join together to do one act. But guess what? They were unstoppable once they came together. So on that note, we love you all. Be a blessing in the youth's lives today. Youths, wake up. You either want to come out of that zone, that comfort zone that you've been in, that begging zone that you've been in, that the conniving, deceiving zone, that scam zone that you've been in, that's robbery zone that you've been in, that killing one another zone that you've been in, or you want to wake up and collectively join the ones that know the power is in the doing. The power is in the doing. The power is in becoming personally financially fit. Not trying to rob somebody else, not trying to beg for the government's money, for the taxpayers' money, because you know they're not even nowhere thinking about your community. So the power is in collectively and in time becoming financially fit. So we're going to do this the righteous way. We're going to do this the most powerful and effective way. We're going to come together. We're going to uprise as a nation. But we're going to do it, and we're going to come together and collectively and support one another and become financially fit. I love you all. Bye-bye. Be blessed, fathers.